Yeah, guys. First of all, give credit to BC. Coach has done a great job there with that program. Those kids play hard. And tonight they did the same. I thought our guys played hard as well, and all the way to the end, and gave ourselves a chance there in the last drive, and unfortunately a batted ball, it gets intercepted. But we felt good about it. Opportunity to go score, felt like we could have, and I think overall, offensively, man, moved the ball great tonight. I mean, close to 200 yards rushing, and a lot of yards passing. I thought Malik played well, and again, it comes back to the turnovers. Our losses have been 3 turnovers, and that's what it comes back to. The first one was 2-2, just trying to tuck the football, something he's done 10,000 times in his life, and the ball just comes out. And Hassan Hall's trying to get extra yards, and the bouncing outside, the ball's on his inside arm, and the guy goes to tackle him, strips him. And then, of course, the last one, the ball gets batted straight up in the air and right to a defender. So, and we turned those guys over as well, but it's not enough. And, I think another key, obviously we get down to red zone, we're going to score touchdowns instead of field goals. I think that was big. But at the end of the day, it really comes back to not possessing the football. So, but I was proud of our guys for the fight all the way to the end. And, we just came up a little short there tonight.
Started off with Cameron and then go to Taylor.
Hey, Scott, Cameron with the Courier-Journal. BC has not run the ball well all year. They obviously ran for 188 yards today. You credit that a lot to missing Goldwire and Desmond Tell there in the middle.
Yeah, that's a big part of it, man. When Gold's out there and he's healthy, he's a force to be reckoned with. I mean, he's a big physical player up front, and that gives you that presence that you need. I think number one, BC's got a really good offensive line, and I think they've leaned more on the pass this year, but they certainly can run the football. But yeah, I think not having those 2 noses there, Monty Montgomery's dinged up as well really all week. So it's tough, and I think. And we got some other guys dinged up. Dorian Etheridge has been dinged up. He's missed half the week. I mean, so those guys are dinged up, and they were able to attack those with some of the good runs they had. Then I thought their quarterback was very efficient throwing the football. So basically, what they had was a good balance of both, and which is hard to defend. And and I think that was probably the difference in the game. Really, they occupied the ball, took the ball away from us because we felt like when we had the ball, we could move it.
Taylor.
Hey, Coach. Taylor Lynch, Louisville Sports Live. You mentioned the interceptions and the turnovers have just been an issue. If they weren't really a problem last year for your squad, what do you think has kind of been the difference here in 2020?
With the turnovers? You saying?
Yes.
Yeah. It's hard to put a finger on it. In my opinion, we've had way too many fumbles this year, which, is really hadn't had that many fumbles in the past, as many as we've had this year, I don't think. And then, the interceptions, I just think this year there's been a lot of fluke interceptions. I mean, there's been some where, we should not have thrown the football. I get that. But there's been some others that are just kind of fluke. I mean, 4th down interceptions, batted ball interceptions, tip balls interceptions, catching a ball and we tip it right to them interceptions. I mean, there's been, I can think of 6 right now that are just kind of fluke interceptions. I mean, they still go down as interceptions. I get that, but it's not your variety interception where you got a misread and you're trying to fit a ball in and they go pick them off. We've had a few of those, but I think it's been some crazy stuff that's happened to us this year, and and just like this, I mean, man, how many times Tutu's tucked the football in his life? When he catches a bender and he gets a first down and he's trying to tuck it and he loses the ball. I mean, it's just a freak thing. I mean, it just, that doesn't normally happen.
Cameron.
Yeah. Yeah, Scott. Obviously 3-7 now. You guys have outgained people in 8 of your 10 games this year, yet still only have 3 losses. So probably a lot of that, you credit a lot of that to the turnovers. And if so, going forward into next year, what do you do in the offseason to try to stop this from becoming a current problem?
Well, we're going to do a lot of things in the offseason to really to challenge ourselves mentally, and turnovers is going to be a big part of that because I think we need to create more as well. on the defensive side of the ball. So every time we're going against each other, we're going to create that competition. There'll be winners and losers within that every single day, and I think that's how you do it. I think you just get used to obviously trying to get turnovers if you're on defense, and then if you're on the other side offensively, just everything you're doing being very intentional, in how you carry the ball, how you throw the ball, because we all know. I mean, like you said, I mean we've moved the ball and then outgained a lot of our teams we played this year. The game we didn't turn the ball over against Notre Dame. We're right in the game. I mean, their number 2 team in the country is 12-7. So and I told the guys, I mean, it's such a fine line for winning and losing. I know this. If you're in the top 10 in the country in turnover margin, you're gonna have a winning record.
Taylor, and then back to Cameron again.
Hey, Coach, you've got 3 weeks now to get prepared for Wake Forest. That's a pretty long layoff. What will you guys do as a staff to kind of keep the team motivated, keep them ready to go for that Wake Forest game?
Well, speaking of Wake, I think they are. What are they top? I know they're top in the country in turnover margin. So we're getting ready to play a team at the end who's really good at the turnover margin, kind of what I've been talking about. And I think we're going to have 3 weeks, and been kind of in this situation before where we've had at App State. We had a bowl game 3 weeks later, and so we kind of going to play the same kind of schedule with that. So what we'll do is fundamental practices. We'll give some guys some days off within this 3 weeks. I mean, so it's not like we're going to practice and just try to go out there and practice every day. We'll give them a few days off here. We'll probably practice 3 days next week, and then give them maybe 2 or 3 days off again. Come back the following week, practice around 3 days. Give them another couple of days off, and then we'll come back and do our game week. So, ultimately maybe 6 practices in those 2 bye weeks, maybe 7. And try to have some fun with it. You don't want it to be where you come at drudgery coming over to the building. We want the guys excited about coming over, excited about trying to get better, really working on fundamentals, working with the young guys, try to having some fun with it, create some different games that we'll play, and then push forward into the last week, which will be getting ready for Wake.
Cam.
Yeah, Scott, I know, and I know you guys have not started game planning for Wake yet. That's a long ways away. But when you go into your last game of the season, you're 3-7. You're not going to kind of have a winning record here. Do you go into that game thinking you might experiment with some of the rotations, get some guys who maybe haven't turned the ball over as much to play some play, or get some young guys going?
Well, you certainly think that we've played a lot of young guys. And so we'll continue to do that. We'll see where we're at health wise. You like to think maybe a couple of guys will get, more healthy as we move the next few weeks. We'll kind of see. We'll kind of see where we are, Cameron. And, as you look at, heading into next year, who's coming back, all those kind of things. And we'll figure out, the guys that we need to go play in this last game to try to go get a win. I mean, we're certainly not going to cash this game in and say, hey, let's just go straight to young guys. I mean, we're going to try to go out here and win this game, and that gives us the best chance to win. Anytime we compete, that's what we want to do. So, but we're certainly going to work on a lot of fundamentals, a lot of young guys as we move through. And really, the reason behind that is because the guys that have been playing with the wear and tear on a season, and so you want to work the young guys and let their bodies heal up. And so that's kind of what we'll approach it that way. And then we'll see what we have game week. When we get ready for Wake, and hopefully we got most all our guys back and we're ready to go full strength, and we'll try to go out there and win and take that game.
Anything else for Coach? All right. Sounds good. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, guys.